if you can't look at your past content or films and cringe, then you're not growing. All right, welcome to the podcast. We have on some great guests today from Art School Dropout. Thanks for being on with us.
Hello.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Well, give me a little bit about the origin story for what you guys have created, because I did get to see the trailer and you guys have made some really fun films and pretty creative as well.
Joey, that's all you.
Oh, okay. So basically, we are independent filmmakers on YouTube. Probably like one of the most difficult things to do when I don't really think that YouTube really likes the narrative type of original narrative content, but we do a lot of action films, mostly comedic martial arts, kind of in the same vein as Jackie Chan or like a lot of the Hong Kong 90s type of stuff. Keep it lighthearted, keep it fun. And
with different art styles
yeah.
too, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that's something that I guess we try to do. Definitely, while we do stick with the whole comedic and martial arts, we've done various versions of it. We're trying to see like different types of techniques and styles and kind of updating it. Like, we do something like classic Japanese chambara, but then we try to overlay the idea of using, when everybody's using anime, we want to try to do with like manga, comic book style, stuff like that. But that's like one of the many random ideas that we could have. So, yeah. So,
all right.
yeah,
Well, give me your origin story. Are you Art School Dropouts?
Oh, yeah, actually it started as a blog long time ago with me and a couple of friends. We were all artists of different mediums, and I think we just came together and said like, hey, maybe we should start a blog. Oh, what should we call it? And I think one of the, obviously a famous or big blog at that time, even now, I guess, it's like Film School Rejects.
Yeah.
So we had to think of we thought of a name that's equally as hipsterish, I thought, back in I don't know, 2013, or I don't know when we created the blog, but it was called so Art School Dropouts as it is.
2013.
Yeah, but none of us even went to art school.
Oh, it's okay. I didn't go to film school, and here we are. We're all just gonna hang out together. All right. So how is the YouTube channel going? Are you guys kind of building it out? Are you finding like genre niches that are really kind of resonating more than others?
I mean, so our YouTube channel is kind of like omakase in a way. We kind of just make whatever comes to mind, and we're really like, we're filmmakers that we don't want to be stuck in like one specific style, but we do experiment. And I think that that's like such a great thing about like making films on YouTube. It's consistent practice. Like we're constantly practicing our crafts and like doing different things. And I know I had emailed you, and recently we are actually working on our feature film.
Oh,
which Joey can talk about it a little bit more. Yeah, Joey, we can talk about our project. It's actually been hush hush for a while, but I think it's about time we like actually start talking about it, because it is very different than what we normally do. And it is yeah, actually, Joey, here, go ahead, explain.
Well, let me ask you, will this be a feature that will be on YouTube, or is this something that you're looking at going more broad? Okay, cool.
So the thing is like what we do usually, this would be our second feature. And what it would be though, how we present it on YouTube, is more of a like a web series type of content. So we split it up to, I guess, the different acts within the film, and we just put it out as episodes on YouTube. Yeah.
And tell me about the features. Is this going to be more martial arts, or are you guys kind of branching into something?
So it's still martial arts. Basically, there's still a lot of the martial arts actions that we do. It's just that this time it's presented in a way that we thought of making a feature film in virtual reality. So it's not like Ready Player One, where when they wrote it, they had this fantastical idea what virtual reality is. Ours is much more what is available right now to everybody, that if once they see our film, they're like, oh, okay, that looks really fun. they could actually jump into
Like have
VR.
avatars and stuff.
Yeah. So it's a mix of both like real life and I guess like the idea of the virtual reality. It's like it's kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons
Oh,
campaign.
that's cool.
But yeah, so it's something different that we usually do and than we usually do. But the thing is, like, obviously the technology, it's like we run into a lot of problems, like no, like filming in a different way. Like, oh, okay, more than the usual when it comes to filmmaking. There's like a lot of computer logic type of reprogramming
Can't
stuff.
really change focal lengths with the virtual camera as
Right,
well. So it's
right.
just but it also is kind of interesting because you're not stuck to, like, if you were to be in real life and have a camera, it's just okay, you're standing.
Yeah.
But in the game, oh, I want to like kind of do a top down shot. There's no platform to stand on, but it's not an issue.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
yeah, let's just do it.
Well, let
Um,
me ask you this, because you guys do a lot of martial arts. Or do you train currently? Do you
Yes.
have disciplines? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I did kung fu for 10 years, and then I trained in the Aido for another 10.
Sweet.
And then my knee said, "Hey, guess who's going to retire and shadow box at the back of the gym?" So that's what I do now. But so tell me what your disciplines are.
Well, Steph, you could take
okay.
it.
Mine is Taekwondo.
Awesome.
So I do it like the International Taekwondo Federation. That's the specific type.
So
Been doing it since I
you
was
have
7.
sick kicks then.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And Joey?
I do Shaolin Kung Fu as well. Grew
Nice.
up in it. Then yeah, I did a couple other things. I did like karate and stuff, but my main style is Shaolin Kung Fu. That's pretty much like I'm born and bred in Kung Fu. So
But so are we talking wushu or are
no,
we talking
Shaolin, like
okay, yeah,
temple.
that's what I'm there.
Yeah,
We talking
grew up in a
spiritual or are
temple.
we talking you just jumping around throwing stuff at people? All
Yeah.
right, very good. No, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I did it for a long time. Um and there's a big spiritual aspect in kung fu that I mean we had meditation nights and the whole thing and part of our like when we would quote test for new ranks we had to meditate as well. It was pretty crazy stuff, but I loved it, and that's where I met my wife. We've been married 22
Awesome.
years now, so yeah, some good things came out of it. But so when you come down to making these films, obviously you're playing around with the visual art style, and I find that interesting because if you're attempting different genres, I could say, or visual tones, you have to really start researching those types of films. So I mean, how much time are you spending going, okay, this is a cliche, but this is an expected staple of that genre as well? Like what are you doing if you're doing an anime or a manga or I don't know, neo-noir or something? Walk me through that process.
Me particularly, yeah, because like I really do love research. I think it's also because I do love the craft and just movies in general. Especially when we one of the things that we did is like this noir way with Steph was like the lead, and it's called like Lady from Nowhere. I really wanted the idea of taking noir and like all of its aspects of like of I guess just like, if we're just talking about the technical visual aspects, just say like
Yeah.
oh like a really like almost overblown like lights, just so you could have like a very contrasting shadows and
Yeah.
whatnot. That's like that's a staple, right? But like what else could we do, like that is kind of already seen but not seen so much, so I really dig like Sin City, and I like the idea of the
Right.
comic book style, right? And since we're just a small group, it's not like I am able to really have a lot of resources and lights to like really blow out certain sections of like a house that we were renting to like shoot it in and stuff like that. It's I had to, I guess somebody like a friend of mine that's like a filmmaker also was kind of like explaining to me, or I guess like the idea that like the visual style of the storytelling that I'm trying to do, it should be part of the visual.
Yeah.
of in the storyline, right? So
Yeah.
so that's one of the things. So there, like, I have to research a lot to make sense of the videos and films that we produce, because I just, I just can't make it black and white and just call it a noir. Like that's not
No,
noir, right?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah, you have to kind of deep dive into these things, and you have to
Yeah.
have that mindset of being that eternal student. Like you have to learn. Like what you
Right.
guys are trying to do right now. If you came out and said, "Oh, I'm a master of all crafts," I'd be like, "Okay, stuff's garbage." Yeah, because you're not growing and getting better. But
But our stuff is garbage.
yeah, I don't think so. I don't agree. I
Aw,
actually like
thank
it.
you.
I wouldn't have you on the show if it was trash. So, but if you have the mindset of somebody who's learning and growing and getting better, then that reflects in your work. Like when I get contracted to write outside of my quote genre, I spend hours, man. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
watching movies and then I'm
Yeah.
taking a pad of paper and I'm sitting down. If I'm watching a film, it takes me like 4 hours to get through it because I stop it. I look at time markers. I see, okay, that scene is this at this time marker. This
Right.
is what they did.
Mhm.
And I'm really absorbing what that genre is. And then, like you said, finding the cliche and then saying, how do I push on this so that I'm adding something unique to the genre? And I think
Right.
that's really important to do.
Because I'm sure like Steph here also kind of gets annoyed sometimes when we're working on new project, and I'm like researching, right? And I would ask questions, and it's like, way deeper than like I guess like her knowledge of what I'm talking about, because I'm so deep into like the
Mhm.
research. And she'd be like, what are you talking about? It just looks like
Yeah.
it looks like
Like-
the same scene from like the last scene. I'm like, okay, I get it, I understand.
That's funny.
That's when I know I'm too deep.
Yeah. So basically, I guess the dynamic of our group, it's really just like Joey and myself. Joey handles like all of the creative, and I handle like the business and like the coordinating and like the producing end of things.
Nice.
So it gets pretty exhausting since it's just like the two of us wearing multiple hats. So when he goes like real far deep diving into like a certain like idea, it's sometimes I'm like, wait, what? I need to catch up. Like I'm sorry, I was thinking about working on the other project and also planning for this. And then it's like, you're thinking what? So it gets
You have to
like,
kind of pull them out of the deep end.
yeah, he goes really far.
So Joey, are you writing
Yes.
it as well as directing it?
Yeah, basically, it's really just the two of us. So writing, directing,
Mixing it,
sometimes
Starring.
acting,
shooting,
doing
starring.
editing.
Just full indie production.
It's
Oh,
full
yeah.
indie, yeah.
But are you
definitely.
seeing as you guys have been doing this for a while, it start to change and grow?
Mm.
Mhm.
Like it's actually, I think every creator has a that same feeling when they look back over their work, and especially since we're more of a I guess like preface this, like I think being on YouTube taught me discipline in filmmaking. Like I think I'm just not driven by inspiration or motivation where like everything comes to me, then I'm like, I'm just making something, right? There are days where, or months or weeks or whatever, where it's like, oh, we need to put something out, it's our schedule or something. So I learned the gritty side of being part of your passion and craft, where you just have to do it.
You're talking about content creation
Yeah,
right now.
Oh,
yeah. So
yeah.
I have a big
That's the-
like, yeah.
Yeah.
I would always tell Steph, like, I think eventually my brain started shifting where it's like, I don't want to call some of this, like a lot of the stuff that we do, as content, because content just denotes it's a product, right? And it's
Yeah.
not like the art or the passion that what we really do, right? So yeah, so I think learning to work for myself, making content, doing the some of the things that isn't really full of passion, but taught me discipline, and taught me how to actually be more effective in the technical aspects of our craft and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that's the really big thing that I really like about YouTube. And so yeah, so that's why I think when we do these things that I know to a lot of people, sometimes, like, a lot of people that would make something not as big, but it would still take them years because they
Yeah.
don't have the I guess the technical training and repetition of just. So yeah, so we have a very big catalog of work, and seeing stuff from years ago, it's like, ugh, that's
Yeah.
terrible looking, right? Like,
Listen,
But-
if you
Yeah.
can't, oh, go ahead, Steph. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. It's like, it's just, even though, yeah, looking back, it's like, oh, some of these are just terrible. But we do learn after every production. It's like we learn to be more efficient. Like, oh, what like program of like shot list is like better. Or okay, let's actually block out like certain times. And especially with like COVID, like coming in and everything, now we have to like work a little bit more differently just to ensure that everyone is safe. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, let's get an Airbnb. Let's have everyone on set. Everybody is like here. Everybody shares the same exposure. So it's like there's no cancellations, like there's no rescheduling. Like once everyone's on set, like we're good. It's expensive, but it saves us time and money at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like we just learn to be like extremely efficient and appreciate the people that do come out to work with us.
Well, if you can't look at your past content or films and cringe, then you're not growing. I mean, look, I've been writing a long time, and I look back at some of my earlier stuff and I go, oh my God, like people read this. One guy wanted to option this, and I'm like, geez, like the hell was he thinking? You know what I mean? So like that's I hate to say it this way, it's a good sign. Like, yeah, you're growing, you're getting better. So what is the goal for the future? Are you guys looking to eventually start kind of like your own like full-on production company?
I mean, that's the idea. That's always been the idea, I think.
Yeah.
I think along the way we had like a floating fluid concept about a production company based on YouTube with V, but that's really not what I wanted. I guess after before when we first started, we kind of started we're dabbling in like BuzzFeed type of content where we had like Steph and I are our group. We're like, hey, we're gonna go to different restaurants and just to fill out the days while we make the sketches and short films,
Right.
Then but now definitely I prefer like going to somewhat of a traditional route, but obviously trying to update it for an online type of production house, I guess. I don't know. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
definitely the dream is to create like a feature a year.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, that's hard.
Joey just
It's
had
hard.
a stroke, everybody.
Okay, yeah, but you have to understand, like Joey and I, like our working relationship is that he'll be like, yeah, next year let's work on a feature. And I have 2 ideas for a web series.
Okay.
And I also have 3 ideas for shorts.
Well, right now our feature ideas, just because the thing is we did start doing action scenes, right? We do a lot of fight scenes when we first started because martial arts based, and only probably about like the past 3 years have I really started learning for once how to actually write. And like, Christ, I am a terrible writer, right? Writing is hard. I don't know how you writers do it. You guys are amazing. You guys are right. I don't, I'm putting stuff on, like I'm just writing, and like my dialogues are so,
oh my gosh,
asinine or something. I'm like, no one talks like this.
Something's happening. What?
Yeah.
Something's going on.
I can't right now.
You know what I'm talking about? Like
Please
the first thing, like that's how I tell my stories.
I'm gonna put this out there right now so that the Art School Dropouts can ask the successful screenwriter and Jeffrey D. Calhoun to help them with their feature. He will do it.
Oh my God.
So I'm offering that
Yeah.
right now.
Awesome.
So I cannot watch Joey do this to himself.
Right.
It's okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about though?
No,
like,
I get
the,
it.
The first time writer, it's like, hey, how do we tell story to people?
Yeah.
We have somebody really just tell
I'm gonna help you out, Joey. So you don't have to worry about it. All right. So
Yeah, because the last like feature script that Joy and I had like produced and worked together and like helped write.
Yeah.
We were in an IHOP and we're just like arguing with each other. It's just like, would they really sell drugs? Would they? And like it got really
I love
like,
the producer
heated.
/ director / writer are all
Yeah.
writing. are all arguing, but it's two people.
Just yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
but it's like
brainstorming.
just
Awesome.
an IHOP, and it's funny. The manager comes out. He's like, "Hey, is everything okay?" It's like, "Oh, sorry, we're just trying to plan for a film production." He just
Right.
hears us talking about like what old people
But
like really buy
I mean, you
drugs.
can't
How do
put
we?
so I wrote a book on screenwriting for the guide for every
Mhm.
screenwriter. And as I was writing it, my wife was doing me the honor of reading it, right? To make sure that her husband doesn't sound like a total idiot before it goes out to the world. So we went to breakfast at this place called Johnny Cakes. And so we're sitting at this place called Johnny Cakes, and I'm having like the most child breakfast you ever heard of. It was Fruity Pebbles pancakes. If we can just put that on the record for the world to know.
Okay,
My wife,
visualizing it.
yeah, my wife is eating like eggs Benedict like a grown-up would. And so we're sitting there, and she starts thinking like, I think I'm gonna write a screenplay. And I was like, that's cool. And right there in the IHOP, or it wasn't an IHOP, at Johnny Cakes, she created the outline for the screenplay. So yeah, you can definitely be in public in weird places and get those muse-like moments. And I think that's fine. But I love the fact that the manager was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Is that why is she throwing high kicks?
We definitely got heated about
Yeah.
because and the thing is like our last feature wasn't even planned to be that. Like I think certain people in the production just happened to, I don't know, it just happened to pass along into a point where it got picked up by like digital media rights, and it's
Yeah, it's
like
on Amazon.
and it's
So
like
what?
right, and it's like on Tubi and all these
Yeah.
other places, but
Yeah.
it wasn't really meant to be. It wasn't meant to be distributed. It was just supposed to be just on our channel because it's just what we did. We never really thought about being able to get it to like a particular like height where
Mhm.
we would be premiering it in like the Museum of Moving Image, and there's somebody in the crowd that's like, hey, I'm the guy that made digital media rights. I want to pick your movie up. And I'm like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all right, sure,
Originally, that
and it's a
film
terrible
was
film. That's the
supposed
thing too. And
it's
I'm just like, but
terrible.
it's terrible. Every meeting that we had with this guy, I'm like, but it's terrible. And he goes like, you got to stop saying that about your.
Yeah,
I'm
let's cut that out right now. So we're gonna
Yeah.
stop that.
Yeah.
Because obviously if people like it, they like it. I've
Yeah.
got you on the show, so that
That's
tells
true.
you something. So we'll have to take the self defamation out. But yeah, like my book right now is the #1 book on Book Authority for the top 100 books of screenwriting of all time. So, but that's crazy, right? Like I look, as like it doesn't register. I go, that's pretty weird, because like all of my mentors and people that I've looked up to and books I read are on that list, and then my book is #1. So then you start going, okay, what the hell? Well, you just kind of like, for me, I just kind of like go, okay, and then like I move on. I'm not gonna sit there and let the ego go crazy. So like, you guys are doing good stuff. Just take it, man. Don't beat yourself up for it, and then send me the script for this feature. So
Gosh.
I'm gonna help you out.
We have
we'll work it out off
several
camera.
features actually.
All right. So it's Art School Dropouts on YouTube is their website. People can find you at.
Yes, artschooldropouts.com. We have a Patreon as well, which like we spend a lot of time with our patrons. We show like behind the scenes, we show
Awesome.
previses, storyboards, we give access to scripts.
Help
We
'em out.
actually do this thing where it's a 360-degree behind the scenes live stream. So for those that have like an Oculus headset or able to watch like in VR, they could actually feel like they're on set with us. It kind of gives our patrons a feel like they're true producers for our projects.
I love this.
Yeah,
I think that is so cool.
It's really cool actually. And like for those that don't have a VR headset, they can actually like look at it on their phones or desktops and just kind of like move around and literally watch us as we're like working on set. Like there's nothing that you guys can't see because it's just right in the middle. It's a 360-degree stream. And yeah, like we just kind of show everything as is. So that's just one of like the cool perks that we had come up with like early last year.
Oh, I think that's awesome. Well, all right, well, it's Art School Dropouts, and everybody definitely check them out and see that Patreon. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much for
much.
having us.
Appreciate it.